Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome and thank you so much for joining this evening. Today, the 3rd of the 8th, 3rd of August, and we're getting there for the end of the year. I want to welcome you for those on Instagram, those on Facebook, and those on YouTube for next edition of In Review. What's your news and where you're from? And yeah, let's have a discussion later. Ladies and gentlemen, let's rock and. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining those on Instagram, those on Facebook, and welcome to another evening of In Review. This Thursday evening, where the key thing is, what is your news? What is your news? What is your news today? And before we go any further, let me just bring in Sir Garry. Don't keep him holding on. How are you, Sir Garry? How are you doing? What's your
Not
news,
bad.
man?
Not bad. It's great. It's great to connect with you again, Sylbourne. Everything is all
Yes.
right, yeah?
Yes. Everything is cool, and of course there As usual, every Thursday there is always something interesting, exciting, which is happening in the world. And but before we go any further, I think the most important thing as a Jamaican, we have to big it up to the reggae girls. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes.
Um,
I think they did very well.
yeah, they say it's a historic win, but that was Jamaica won and Panama, but it's beyond that because they sent Brazil home of recent days as well. And what we are seeing is um let me see. I think the fantastic thing is that it's a nice, good feeling because Jamaica of recent days and the Afro Caribbean world talks about the emancipation, which was the first of August, and so therefore it was a nice, good feel good factor about it. I don't know if you watch it. I'm not a football fan, but I always sort of get excited when everybody get excited. Do you watch football?
I do, but I haven't really been watching the women's World Series really.
Well, you got a thing against women playing football there?
No, I don't. I don't have anything against it. I just don't have the time, really.
It's time, yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
And anyway, that's a good thing, which is happening, and there's lots of videos going around with that, and also there are issues they're talking about that they were not, you know, being encouraged in a way by giving resources for them, and they're talking
Right.
about. But anyway, they push through and they are going forward. So kudos to the ladies, the Jamaican ladies there, and we give them all the best as well. But our the I'm not going to call him the big belly man, but I said it already. But interest rate gone up, Gary. It's gone up again.
Yes. Yes. I
You know?
am. I'm not surprised. I'm not
Yeah,
surprised. I think. Well, I think we all knew it was going to go up. Really,
yeah, yeah.
it was. It was only. Um, the thought was only by how much.
Yes,
That was
that's
it.
Andrew
I think
Bailey
that was
again. Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, what has happened, and we've been talking about this for a while, and I believe that it is so important that we raise the issue in regards to these things, is that the Bank of England has increased its interest rate to 5.25% from 5%. The last time the rates were this high was April 2008, Gary. April 2008, the last time interest rate
yeah.
was this high. And the Chancellor Jeremy acknowledged that the rise will be difficult for many, but says the government is sticking to its plan for lowering inflation. Is it the Bank of England or is it the governor? Is it government? Because many times they say it's the Bank of England independence, but at the same time the government say they are sticking to the plan. Is it the government is the undergirding factor there, or is the Bank of England governor? What do you think about that? We talk about this so
No.
much, and we're so used
I
to it
mean,
now. Yeah.
I think that the government and the Bank of England are working together, even though the Bank of England is independent because they meet
Yes.
and they discuss. But I think it's only an arm um, of carrying out the wishes of the government. Really, if
Yes.
if the if the if the Bank of England should at all, if the Bank of England at all went against
Yes.
the government, then you would hear about it, you'd know it. But you see, the Bank of England, I am sure the Bank of England, before they make it known that they're raising the rates, report back to the Prime Minister. He knew fully well what the Bank of England was going to do. And he's in
So what
agreement with it. If he wasn't in agreement with it, then the government would have said something about
so what we're talking about,
it.
Andrew
Before.
Bailey. Andrew Bailey already had these sort of discussions, more than likely, with the government, with Chancellor and the Prime Minister going forward. And therefore, in a way, is it that the Prime Minister is sort of hiding behind the governor at the same time than taking the rat and taking the full on?
Yes. I mean, I do believe that. I do believe that. I mean, all all three men, the Prime Minister, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, and Andrew Bailey, the chairman of the Bank of England, all three would meet, would discuss how, I mean, in the meeting, I would have thought that there would be some discussion of what the rate hike would be. I mean,
Yes.
one probably would have thought it'd be 5.5. I wouldn't be surprised.
You thought it was going to be 5.5?
Well, no, I'm just saying that out of the three, yes, I'm sure one may have thought 5.5 would be a better one, or 5.25. But some discussion anyway would be had. So that's a given.
Well, one of the things though that Mr. Bailey has said in his interview is that there's a level of encouragement that he sees. Of course, he sees this level of encouragement, and I think the Prime Minister is saying that, and Jeremy Hunt is saying that, the Chancellor. And I guess why they're saying that is to sort of ease the mindset of people by saying we are seeing light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, but what is this light? Did they say what it is?
Well, this is it. This is it. What is this light? And
there's no light.
And the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister also said, "Let us be encouraged," because, and I'm sure many people can see this. And the Bank of England has
there's no light.
Yeah. And the Bank of England has warned businesses. Yeah, go on, Garry. Yeah, go on. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think they're saying this to appease the people. They have to say something so as to calm the nerves of the nation.
Yes,
they have to say something, because I don't think, and honestly, I do not think that rates are going to come down for now. I would not be surprised if there's another rate increase in the next couple of months or so. But they have to put out, as they say, they have to put out a carrot so as to at least put some nerves to rest, because I don't see no light. even Stevie Wonder here or Ray Charles can see that there is no light, because how can the UK alone say there's light? And I haven't heard the federal Bank of the US say anything in that regards. I haven't heard the European Bank say anything like that. And also of interest, usually, I listen also to the response of the Bank of Japan. Now, a lot of people may wonder, well, why Japan? I think it's all because Japan has had the longest, I think, round of 0%. I even think it went into negative percentage at one stage, which of course is unheard of. But they seem to respond. No, when their interest rates begin to move, it's because of the response of the rest of the world. And I look at the Japanese economy more closely than any other outside of Europe and the United States. And I haven't heard the Japanese bank
Premier.
or chancellor or premier or anybody say anything in that regard.
Well, one of the things that the Bank of England has warned, and they're saying, is that we're not expecting things to go down soon, Garry. That's what he said. The Bank of England has warned businesses and households that the cost of borrowing will remain high for at least the next 2 years, as it raised interest rate for the 14th consecutive time to 5.25. So what they're believing is that there's a plateau now, and therefore we may need to start to be around this zone. You're saying?
2 years? they're saying 2 years.
Yeah,
to me, it's going to go up. It's going to go up, and it's going to be more than 2 years.
Yes. Yes.
It's going to
Well,
be more
well,
than
well,
2 years.
the impact of this, we have been speaking about the impact of this all a while, and many persons are saying is that this is affecting a lot of people, affecting mortgage holders, affecting people in rent. And what they're actually finding out is that it is affecting a lot of renters as much as possible. I was speaking to a lady today, and they have to move because the landlord wants to raise the rent. And they're saying, keep the rent the same and put me somewhere else. They're saying to the agency, because a lot of these landlords and have mortgages as well, and they're trying to get it out of the people. You know, and and someone was breaking it down to me again by saying this is really hitting people hard from every sector. And the council tax, as you know, in the UK we pay council tax to take up your rubbish, and the ULEZ, which is coming out, which our great mayor of London, who is working against the people as well. But there's something also about the ULEZ, is that the ULEZ, even though the mayor is actually leading on it, but it was instigated by a previous mayor, which was created by Boris Johnson, and also in a letter which was given by the Grand Shap, was that the mayor need to get this ULEZ thing out of in place. So that's the ULEZ. Then we're talking about the parking charges, because Gary, there's a high level of parking charges which is happening now, hitting people left, right, and center. Even people just going into a bus lane, waboom, tickets. People are just sitting down and say, "Let's get a ticket now." Cameras are all over the place. Interest rates going up, and it's not actually passing through onto the saving. Increase in supermarket, and that was just a few that we discussed as to the high level of hit that people are going to be getting. And the question now is, how much, and this is the question again, how much can people take these? And I'll tell
Well,
you one of the solutions that some officials said recently.
yeah, well,
How much can
well, you
people take
see,
these? Yeah. Mm.
you see, again, it is in the hands of the electorate. It's in the hands of the people. If the people do not vote, when it's time to vote, if they don't vote, if they continue to
Mm.
put Sadiq, is it Sadiq Khan?
Sadiq
Is
Khan, yeah.
that him?
Yeah.
Yeah, if they continue to
Yeah.
put him in, then it's going to be mayhem in London. I mean, they
Mm.
have to get him out. They can't put him in there. But at the same time, even though he's Labour, is he still fulfilling the question is he still fulfilling the requests of the government? Because
Mm.
listen, that's bringing in revenue. That is bringing in some dosh. And can the London Assembly do
Mm.
without that dosh? Okay, probably they may not put away with it if they elect a conservative mayor, that may not do away with it. What he may do, or what they may do, is probably half it, or bring it down, because
Mm.
12.50 a day is very heavy. It is extremely heavy. Never mind, as you said, the parking charges. And as
Yeah.
soon as a wheel, whether it's your back wheel or your front wheel, touches the bus lane, white line, you
Yeah.
get the ticket. You don't even have to go into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
The wheel touches, and that's it.
Now
So
that
so the people needs to voice their
the
opinions,
up
and they
and the
this
and the and the opposition to these things.
they have to. They
Mm.
have to. But I don't know if, well, it would seem that something will happen, because if what I'm hearing are both on the social medias and also
Yeah.
on various news platforms,
Mm.
then obviously, um, the Labour mayor
Be re-elected.
will not be re-elected.
And also it will also have some impact on the next election with um Labour persons are going to feel it, just like how the Oxbridge election sort of showed something there. So I don't know if Labour is actually recognizing that, because really and truly, a lot of people, and the funny thing about these things, and we said it last week, and we say it again just quickly, but the £12.50 per day, which are going to affect business people, those business people are simply going to try to pass it on to the public, their customers. But then the customers are going to actually start to pull back away from these things, because it's going to be too much. And that's the reason why the government was trying to stimulate people to somehow get back out there, and to go into supermarket, to buy and to go to restaurants, and remember that lunch thing, that dinner thing that the government was doing just as we came out of COVID,
Mhm.
to stimulate the economy. But people are now going
Right.
to say,
Right.
listen, I can't afford it. You know, people are going to say they can't afford it as well. So it's going to be a
Well,
very, yeah.
listen.
Mhm. Yes,
You
Gary.
see, the
You
thing
said,
about it is that
mm,
yeah, people can't. You can't blame the businessman. You can't blame the businessman from passing on these expenses, because nobody can manage it.
mm,
If the businessman doesn't pass it on, he goes out of business, and then
mm,
the consumer or the customer can't pay the ULEZ. So what happens? It's a stalled economy. I mean, London is just
mm,
going to come to a standstill, because the businessman or the businesswoman cannot absorb that 12.50. They're having
yeah,
to pay that. The consumer or the residents of London can't pay it.
yeah,
They're priced out of the market. Then they can't pay their bills. They can't eat. The supermarkets, they can't they can't absorb these things. It's ridiculous. It's getting
yeah.
ridiculous, really.
All right. So what you're saying then is that people need to stand up. I mean, voting is one thing, but voting, you only can vote when there's an election. But at least there's an election coming up soon, which is going to be the mayoral election that is dealing with the ULEZ. And it's good to know persons who are from the UK, on Instagram, TikTok as well. What's your take in regards to the rate of interest, the interest rate, which has gone to 5.25 in the UK? Wherever you are, what's your take on interest rate and how it has impacted you, or it has impacted your mortgage, or it has impacted your rent, or it has impacted your food and impacted your life? Because when the prime minister last week, couple weeks ago, said we got 1 million public sector workers that we are going to um, give them 5 to 7% increase, 5 to 7% increase, and that money is not going to come from the economy, or they're going to borrow it. They're going to increase the NHS surcharge for those coming from overseas, immigrants, and they're going to also increase application fees for persons who want to apply to come to the UK. So when I saw that and we discussed it, I said it already. The big belly man, which is the chancellor, which is not the chancellor, the Bank of England governor, which is Andrew Bailey. There, forgive me for saying big belly man, but his belly looked like it dropped a bit, Gary. I think he has been doing some exercise. But I said it that it's going to increase, because now the people got more money in their pocket, and therefore more money is going to be in the economy. He's going to say there's too much spending, and then people are going to get upset again, and they're going to demonstrate again, and they're going to want to put more money. So it's like a no-win situation going around. However, what they said, we are going to keep the interest rate for this, and we believe there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I think I have asked a question to Rishi Sunak or someone which light it is. I remember Edward Siaga. This was a prime minister in Jamaica, and there was a Leandro, which was a cartoon, and they always draw these cartoons, if you remember. And there was a tunnel, and there was a light, and they said there's light at the end of the tunnel, and somebody said it's an oncoming train. It wasn't a light at the end of the tunnel; it was an oncoming train. So the light at the end of a tunnel don't have to be a light to say that there's going to be a way out. It's actually an oncoming train. Boom, for a clash, a smash. So anyway, we watch your space with that there as well. Any last word you want to say on that, Gary? Because I mean, we've exhausted this every week with we talking about the interest rate. Uh,
I don't have anything else. No, I don't have anything else to say
yeah.
on that. No, I just want your listeners and the
Mm,
word spread abroad that you're gonna have to pull your belt,
tight.
pull the belt very very tight, because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not going to be an easy ride.
Not gonna be an easy ride. Well, as the song said by Buju Banton, not a easy road. um, Listen, big things going on in America, man. I'm watching it while I'm looking distracted. I'm watching Trump. Trump is taking the world by America by storm again. You know, the real, as I said, the real big man is back again. Somebody say on TikTok says things have to improve soon, or else we are going to see a lot of homeless, mad, hungry people here. That's what they said, Gary. As someone said,
Yeah.
things have to improve soon, or we are going to see a lot of homeless, mad, hungry people. And and that's not something which is far, because
Mm.
people will feel it there. People will feel it. But Trump, what's your take on Trump? Is he going to be president while in the prison? You think he can be a prison? He can be a president.
I I mean, I don't know. It's just getting a bit ridiculous now, isn't it? Really.
Why you say
I
it's
was
ridiculous?
watching a
Yeah,
I
go
was
on.
watching a particular news item this morning, and the question was asked a Republican strategist.
Mm.
I think he was working with Spence or Pence, but
Mike Pence,
the
yes.
question was
Mm.
asked. Yeah, the question was asked if he believes it's politically motivated.
Yes.
And the guy said, yes, he believes it's politically motivated because each time Biden and Biden's son comes up, Hunter Biden comes up in the in the investigations of what they're up to.
They
Every
shut it
time
down.
that raises his head, then obviously they then try to turn up the heat as far as um, Donald Trump is concerned,
Mm.
because it's just more than people. It's about Republican against the Democrat. So the Democrats are pulling everything out in order to hurt the Republicans. If it wasn't Donald Trump, then it would be somebody else. So
Mm.
obviously, they believe that because Donald Trump has really probably done a lot, and probably he's done it. But yet there's some politicians there that may have really done more than what Donald
Yeah.
Trump has ever done. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that he's innocent. I'm not saying that at all. But there are some politicians, whether here in the UK or there in the United States, that have really done wrong, really done some horrible things, but you'll
Yeah.
never know anything about it. So at this
Well,
point in time, Donald Trump is in the frame. If he, I guarantee if he was not so geared up to be running
mm.
for the U.S. president at all, if he had kept quiet, I don't think that we would have heard anything of Donald Trump personally.
Yeah. So you think it is because he keeps speaking out and wanted to run again. If he had kept quiet, they'll just keep the system will just keep it cool.
Yes, yes, I believe
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Well, it just said Trump pleads not guilty on all counts in Washington, which is naturally what he's going to do. He pleads not guilty to all the bit. Well, we're in the silly season of politics. The silly season of politics. It's in Jamaica as well. It's in the USA as well. Um, and politicians all over. We are seeing that Trudeau is actually separating from his wife. I don't know if after 18 years.
Is
And it
it?
just shows. Yeah, it just shows that all men are all grass, wither and fade away. You know. Um, but Trump, yeah, he pleads not guilty on all counts in Washington. But I think the very interesting thing, and I don't know what people think, but there's a lot of talk about who is a Tanya Chutkan, the hardline
Ah,
judge on Trump's election case. Who is
right.
Tanya Chutkan? Because everybody and Jamaicans are owning this lady. Jamaicans are like this. Once you see you're Jamaican, they just own you. They might not know anything about you, but and sometimes the person don't own Jamaica, but we own them. It's like the, the vice president of America. She came to Jamaica and everybody own her up, but she's doing some crazy things, and people said, "Damn," you know. But as you can see, the lady there, which I just flag up her name there, Tanya Chutkan. Can you see her there, Tanya Chutkan? Can you see her picture, Gary?
Yes, yes,
You can
yes. I
see her.
see her.
Yeah, Tanya Chutkan. She's actually Jamaican. Yeah.
Is she?
She said, yes, they said, what it says, she was born in Jamaica, born in Kingston, Jamaica. She moved to the US to attend George Washington University before moving on to law
Okay.
school at the University of Pennsylvania. You know, when
Mm.
Donald Trump appears before a district judge, Tanya Chutkan to face the host of charges brought against him for his role in 2020 election interference, he might recognize a familiar face. She was appointed initially, I got to understand, by Barack Obama. you know. So it's all over
Right.
Twitter land and it's all over TikTok land. Who is this lady? And they say in 2021, Judge Shotkin blocked his effort to stop a congressional committee bid to access teams of his administration's White House papers with the memorable phrase, "Presidents are not kings and plaintiff is not president." You know, and that's her
Uh,
assignment. So she's a Jamaican. They say there's a Jamaican every single place. Even in Iceland, there's a Jamaican in an igloo, even though there's no igloo in Iceland.
oh my God! I tell you.
so so but the interesting thing about America and with what's happening, and you did touch on Biden, and it's a sad case because so much things. If these things were surrounding Trump, like one of Trump's son and his daughter involving drugs and all those sort of things, man, those guys would just go for it. They go for it, and that is a high level of hypocrisy and double standard we are seeing, and it is simply politics. As far as I'm seeing, what do you guys think? Is it
Yeah.
politics that Donald Trump, with what is happening, and they say Ron DeSantis, who is I say is far ahead of his closest contender for the primaries, and Ron DeSantis is trailing him big time. Donald Trump, and I always say this all the while. I always say this. That movie called, I believe it was Independence Day with Will Smith. That every time they were going to attack that spaceship, the more they attacked it, Gary, the more it got bigger, and it's like a defense mechanism got bigger. And I always say this: the best way to deal with Donald Trump is not to talk about Donald Trump. The more you attack Donald Trump, the more his base get bigger, and that's what is
Yes.
happening. His base is getting bigger, you know. And who knows? He may have a president in jail. The
Well,
bir-
well, it'll be sad. It'll be sad. It'll be sad. And I mean, if he does go back into the White House, obviously he won't go to jail, will he?
yeah.
But I think
Well, he
I
can
think
pardon
they
himself. They said he can pardon himself if anything. Yeah, I'm the president. Pardon myself. You know what I'm saying? Don't daughter. You know what I'm trying to say. And that's the thing there. And this whole thing is surrounding the January 6th attack when he was saying they're back on that same thing. And it just, I believe it's very divisive. And I believe America, without a doubt, needs to come together. But there's two school of thoughts whereby if you allow a president to get away with these things, it's you set a precedent for other presidents to do the same thing. So, and that's why the person said a president is not above the law. I think it's only in the UK where a king or is above the law, if anything. You know what I mean? If anything like that. But of course, there's a impressive king, which you're not going to do that. Which cities did Trump say that there was massive voter fraud went on in November 2020? I have no idea. You tell us, clarity end. Somebody asked, which cities did Trump say that there was massive voter fraud went on in November 2020? Tell me while we're in the UK. You don't know the cities, Gary. What cities he said there
I
were
don't.
voter fraud? You know,
I don't.
you don't. But that's going to be a very interesting bit there. And we're going to be, oh, there it is. They said all black cities. I didn't know there were black cities in America. Which black cities? What black cities are in America? Is that Detroit or is it that Chicago? What are the black cities? I'm in the UK, so someone will have to educate me. Are there black cities in America, Gary? Google it. Let's Google it. Let's get
Black
down to it.
city.
Black cities. Somebody said black cities are the ones. Somebody said just look it up. No, just don't tell me to look it up, man. Just tell me. Okay, I'll look at it. Black cities in America. Black cities in America. And African American people, oldest black city in America. The Black Incorporated list of top it doesn't show African American. Um, yeah. What are the black cities in America? They said I think it would say the blackest cities in America would be where there's a high concentration of black people. Maybe is that the best way to say it? Maybe that's the best way to say it. And I'm seeing they said the blackest cities in America: Atlanta, Memphis, Baltimore, New York, big city of dream, Philadelphia, um,
Mm.
New Orleans, Chicago, Detroit, Houston. These are what they say are some of the black cities, but it's much more. The cities Trump call over fraud. Birmingham, Oakland, California, blah blah blah, Baton Rouge, you know, you know. There they are, Gary. We learned something today. They are one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 8 times 3, 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 24 black cities in America, right? There's even a city called Mobile. Is that correct? Mobile.
Yeah,
Mobile is,
in Alabama.
oh my days. I just learned something today. Thank you so much, Clarity. That's awesome. You know, Mobile is a port city in Alabama. So you got Augusta, Baton Rouge, Charlotte, Oakland, California, Houston. Now the big question is this. Now let's talk about the black issue. Now, are these states working together collectively as a black superpower? Um, Atlanta, I understand that is works strategically, and they say it's one of the epitome. Chicago, they say lots of um, killing, which is happening there in Chicago. But that's very interesting. You know, I got this book here, Gary, today. I bought this book. Somebody said I should buy this book, and I bought this book here today. And the book is called When We Ruled. Have you heard about that book? When We Ruled. Yeah. When We Ruled. It's a study guide and reading plan by Robin Walker. When We Ruled. You know, that's hi Dion. Dion is here. He says, When We Ruled. Study guide and reading plan. I think when I got it, but it's linked to other things, and it talks about fully aware that how many people find When We Rule a daunting prospect to read due to its large size, and he's written a full study guide. You know, I was thinking about of recent days, like in Jamaica when they talk about civics, and I know I mean, this is a part of a discussion in here. We talk about civics and the pride and the knowledge of black people at the same time. Because right now, what we are seeing carefully, strategically, is that we're now distracted on about Donald Trump. You know, you know,
Mm.
And what should be happening is that all these towns and these cities strategically pulled together. Trump said 4 cities which are historically black conducted massive voter fraud. He blames them. Yeah. Did he blame? Somebody said he blames them. He blames them. You know, he blames them. Blaming somebody for voter fraud, is that a crime? That's a big question, Gary. Yeah. Um, one can blame a lot of things, but is it a crime? So it's going to be a very interesting thing to watch how this one unfold as much as possible. But when we rule, I'm going to go into this book a bit more. You know, when we rule, does it show? Let me flip this here to show another side of it. Mirror the camera. Here we are. When we ruled.
When
When
we rule.
when we
Okay.
ruled. When we
Okay.
ruled. When we by and actually the gentleman is in the UK. You know, I'm so strongly believe that even like the whole issue of civics, like in Jamaica. So I think it's very important that even a groundswell of people draft these books and put it together, an updated version, and get it into people's home as well. Because sometimes, as I said, I believe we spend so much time getting distracted on all these issues, and we're not actually putting together as much as possible. Um, but you know, Gary, like in Jamaica, they're talking about Jamaica becoming what do you call it, uh independent republic. We're in the process now of celebrating independence on August the 6th. Will you celebrate independence August the 6th, Gary? Is Jamaica independent? Ladies and gentlemen, is Jamaica, I'm going to say, is Gary an independent guy? Is America, is Jamaica independent? Yeah. Is
Is Jamaica independent?
Somebody said the GOP is passing massive voter suppression laws in all areas with large black populations. That's very interesting. You know, how can that happen in America? How can that happen in America? How can the GOP pass these massive vote suppression? How can that happen? Impossible. How can America allow that to happen? How can the black population allow that to happen? Never under our watch. Shouldn't be under their watch. You know. I like Trump though. I like Trump. I like the underdog. I like the underdog. I think somebody might not be happy with that. If I was in America before, I would have voted Trump. You know what I'm saying? You know, let's go out there and just say it as it is. We need leaders who will just say it as it is. Not that I agree with all of the things that he does. Hey, Gary, the the whole thing regarding Jamaica becoming a republic. Are you happy about that? You looking forward to that? Jamaica become a republic? There's a meeting in your neck of the woods in Birmingham on July the 12th, Gary. You need to be there.
Listen, in
Oh
the
no,
week,
you're gonna lecture to me now.
in the week,
Yeah,
Mr. Sydial,
yeah,
you put something out. I think it was in your facilitators for Jamaica, something like that.
yeah,
I
yeah.
think you put it out to say that the Prime Minister's office has too much power,
Yes.
and
And when I said
that kind
and that was relating to Jamaica. Yes, yes, yes.
that kind of nudged my head a bit because um, if 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 the prime minister's office has too much power, if the prime minister has too much power,
Yes.
then that power is not going to be lessened. You can't address that in the time frame in which they want to bring in this republic business in, and the power of the prime minister is going to be transferred, and if not even more, is going to go over into the office of the presidency.
Yes.
So I'm not really all that I'm not really all that
You're not that optimistic. You're not that
enthused.
optimistic. You're not that optimistic that things will change in a
No, it's not going to
fundamental.
change. No, it won't change. Nothing is going to change.
Why you think nothing is going to change? Are you trying to say that all of this is just a waste of space, going around to say they're having consultation? They're going around the country in Jamaica saying they're having consultation. Is that just a farce? Is it a farce?
Well,
What do you
I
think,
think
guys? Yeah.
no. Well, I think they're doing what they're doing it so that they can always say that they're touching the electorate. That's what they're doing. All right, so that it will never be said that they never went to the electorate.
Yes.
But at the same time, things won't change. It's not going to change.
So what you're saying is just like when local authorities. I'm having an echo there. 1, 2, 3. Just like when local authorities will have their consultation on certain policies that they want to enact. So what they do, they meet with people and then they say, "We had consultation." That's what. So they're just going through the process. So when these town hall meetings, which are taking place in Jamaica, when this meeting, which is going to be coming up in August the 12th in your neck of the woods at Birmingham City University at 3 o'clock, um, even though in the UK we know that we do not have a vote, but at the same time, I believe that people in the UK and in the USA are and should be able to influence their family members to vote. But what you're saying is that it is just going through the process, not change, not go on. That's what you're
Well,
saying, Garry?
it's a tick box exercise. If
Mm,
you cannot, if you go back to the information which you brought up some weeks back to
yes,
show the percentage of those who voted against the population,
yes,
what do you expect to come out of that?
mm,
That in itself speaks volumes.
yeah,
You've got 100%, which is, let's say, the population of Jamaica, but then the real figures of the percentage of
30%.
who actually voted is not even half. It's
Some,
just a little,
yeah,
well, just below a quarter. It's just below a quarter.
someone just said a while ago, Jamaica will never become a republic. We know what is going on. Now, I'm going to ask this question because I keep saying all the while, sometimes when people say these things, only Jesus I knew spoke in parables. Tell me what is going on. Jamaica will never become a republic, Gary. The person said, "We know what is going on, Gary. What is going on? Why will Jamaica not become a republic?"
Now, listen, I'm not saying that Jamaica will never become a republic.
Okay, okay,
Jamaica, I could understand the sentiment of the individual that has just given that. I can
yes,
understand that,
yes,
but but um, Jamaica turning into a republic with a presidency in the way how people want it to be will never be fashioned to the electorate. It's going to be fashioned and made up to how the politicians want it to function and be like. It's never going to be towards how the population of Jamaica would like it to be. Because if the prime minister's office has
mm,
so much power, which you have said it has,
yeah,
then obviously the presidency is not going to be any less than the prime minister. If anything, it's going to be more. There's more power that's
yeah,
going to be wielded through the president, through the office of the president, not
yeah.
any less than what the prime minister has at this moment in time.
You know, on TikTok, Mr. Clarity said, "How can little Barbados become a republic and Jamaica not? Jamaica is owned by the British." Now, that's a very important point you mentioned there. So I presume that anyone on here who's of that view on August the 6th, you won't be celebrating independence. We will celebrate Jamaica independence on the 6th of August because, as what Clarity says, how can little Barbados become a republic and Jamaica not? Right? Even
Okay.
though, even though I believe that uh, the republic that Barbados has is just a figurehead, a similarity to what they had with the Governor General, where they just sign the royal assent. They're not executive, so it just like somebody say it lipstick on a pig to a
I
certain
would,
extent.
I
Lipstick on
would
a pig.
like,
Yeah.
I would like to say this about
Mm.
little Jamaica, all right,
Yeah.
compared to the entire
World.
Caribbean. You see, you see Jamaica,
Yeah.
that little island wields a tremendous amount of influence in the Caribbean. And
Yes.
I would go so far as to say, right, that the powers that be does they do not take Jamaica lightly.
The powers that be.
Now
Mm.
the powers that be, they do not take Jamaica lightly.
Likely. Yeah.
Now I say that to say this, that Barbados, I don't think is as influential as Jamaica in within the political
Mm.
arena, and whatever Barbados does,
Yes.
I might be strung up for this, but I'll take the
Take the hit.
I'll take the hit. I'll take the hit, because that's the problem with some of our politicians. They don't want to come out and say things that probably are so anyway. But I would
Mm.
say that Barbados is probably not as is not as influential
As
as
Jamaica.
Jamaica
Mm.
politically. So they will allow Barbados to become a republic.
You just said
And,
something. He said
and
they will allow Barbados. They will allow Barbados. Who is going to allow Barbados? They will
well,
allow Barbados.
yeah, well, who allowed Barbados to become a republic? Isn't it coming from underneath the armpit the armpit of the British government or the British monarchy? That's what I'm saying. It's not coming from the US. The US has nothing to
Is it?
do with that.
Is it not the
It's the
groundswell?
British Empire. But
Is
at
it
the
not?
same time, Sylbourne,
Mm.
hold on. At
Yeah.
the same time, um, as some would also want to include, you know, the Illuminati. Some would even say the CRF, the Council of Foreign Relations. Some would say would bring in other factors and other sinister world powers that be. So I'm not, all of that is in the mix. But what I'm saying here, yes, is that the powers that be, any other um, Caribbean island, and I'm talking about the Caribbean area now. I'm not talking about the rest of the world. I'm talking about the
Yes.
Caribbean islands.
Yes.
If the Caribbean islands or any other Caribbean island, if they decided to go the way of Barbados, they would probably have a very easy ride. I'm just saying that. I'm not saying that I have figures, I have any proof or
Yeah.
anything like that. I'm just saying by what I've seen and what I've heard in my experience, 60 years of living and seeing the maneuverings of states within the political arenas within the Caribbean area.
Yes.
There are some islands that may just have an easy ride in getting through. But when it comes to Jamaica, because I believe that Jamaica is influential within the Caribbean area and to the British government.
Yeah.
Why is it? Why is it? Just as a note, why is it that when you're flying from here to Jamaica, it's much more expensive going to Jamaica than going to Bahamas or going to Barbados or to
Mm.
those little islands there?
Mm.
Why? Why is it so expensive? You
It's
see,
very it's very interesting because Norse, the new airline, is having some low flights. It's a market
yeah,
thing. I
yeah,
mean the,
but even then, it's expensive because I've even gone onto their website, and by the time you put on all the little add-ons onto it, it's just as expensive. You might as well go with Virgin, or you might
okay.
as well just go with British Airways.
And to it, well, as someone said in on TikTok, he said Jamaican are leaders of the Caribbean. They say spit it out, Gary, spit it out. West Africans send black people to Caribbean, but
Well,
but
yes.
but
Jamaica
yeah, but
leaders
then
in the Caribbean.
yeah, but then someone said Trinidad has been a republic for a long time and is a bigger economy than Jamaica. Being a
Ah,
bigger,
ah,
being
yes,
a being a bigger
but
economy,
even
how
that,
influential? Yeah,
Sylbourne,
yeah,
Sylbourne,
yeah,
Sylbourne,
yeah,
will agree with that statement. I would
yeah,
agree that Trinidad has a bigger economy and probably a little bit more finance going through it because of the oil. But even then, still, Trinidad does not have the clout, politically. If you listen very carefully, and you look at the CARICOM, um, um, governments,
yes.
right? Trinidad is there, but they don't have the clout. If
Well,
they did, they're
mm,
wearing gloves because when the prime minister, whoever it is, that's running Jamaica, when them open for them mouth, everybody listen down there. you
in,
know,
in, yeah.
that carries clout. And just
Well,
imagine if
Mia Motley, when she opens her mouth in Barbados, she commands a lot of
no,
attention.
no, not like Jamaica,
Not like not like
not
Angela
like the
White.
prime minister.
Mm.
No, no, no. Anytime Jamaica opens her mouth, everybody down there listen, and even America
No,
listen.
no, no, no. I'm on TikTok and I get comments on TikTok as more. Oh Lord, Jamaicans are just blowing up smoke up their own. I'll be diplomatic on their up their own behind. I'm just a moderator here. You know what I'm saying?
No. Well, I mean, not everybody is going to be in favor of Jamaica. I understand that. I would take that. I mean, not everybody understands Jamaicans either, and they don't understand um, the culture of Jamaica, and that is why, yes, that is why when Jamaicans go abroad, and that is why Jamaicans get into trouble even when they're not doing anything, because the way how we talk, the way how we express ourselves, people are afraid of us. People are afraid, and it's not that they should be. I'm not saying that they should be, but they don't understand that we are an articulate set of people who can express our views without any shame
Mm.
or favor. We know how to talk. It's just that sometimes we become um what is it?
Ignorant. We say ignorant.
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 Probably,
Yeah,
probably,
ignorant. Yeah.
but people don't understand. People don't understand, and but we have an influence. We have an influence. I mean, look at you. You told us about the attorney there that is a Jamaican that is going up against Trump. Look where Jamaicans go and make an impact.
Mm.
Look where they go. Even what's her name? Camilla Harris. Look
Yeah.
what she's from a Jamaican background.
Yes.
You know, all Jamaicans wherever they go, they make an impact. And I
Yeah.
believe, my friends, that Jamaica has an influence, and I believe that is why if Jamaica at all is going to be a republic, they may passionate. Okay, yes, it is.
Well,
Yes,
well, well,
Jamaica
well,
are
the,
passionate.
well,
Ignorant. You're
yeah,
not
yeah,
ignorant. You're
yeah.
passionate.
Gary, but
You're
but
you're
Gary,
right there. I would
Gary,
like to say
Gary,
we are.
these right. But we as Jamaicans know what we mean when we say ignorant. That's our
Well,
look
yeah,
away we chat. So
but passion, no,
passionate
passion
is
is,
right.
yeah. I would agree with that a
Yeah.
thousand percent. That
They
Jamaicans are passionate.
well,
If
I'm glad you
anything,
said that because I came to the UK yesterday, the 2nd of August, 1992, and there I am. I still look at that. Look at that young slim chap there. That's me there, and that was I was in Brixton there, Mr. Winston. That was a that shop there was off license, which is owned by Jamaicans, but I think they sold it out or so like that. So that's me there. Um, so I came to the UK, and after I came to the UK, Gary, you know what they did? They shut the door. Them shut the backside door, Gary, and said no more people coming to the UK with and they all have their visas. I think I was the last person that came over here without visa.
Really?
And they shut the door after that. 1992, 31 years in the UK. Myself, 31 years in the UK, and I would not say that I have any regrets at the same time, you know. And I believe when you come with an immigrant mentality, you don't sort of get entangled with, when I say you don't get entangled with dirty bungle sometime. It's a certain saying, you know, you don't get involved with civilian affairs sometimes. When you're on a mission, you don't get involved with, you try as much as possible not to be distracted, you know. But it's a very interesting conversation and very interesting input from persons over there. But I just need to I just need to sort of emphasize on this, which is going to be happening in your neck of the woods, Gary, and that's going to be Jamaica becoming a republic, discussion, the Jamaican constitution reform and the impact of the diaspora. That's going to be 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at Birmingham City University. Spread the word as well, and we're going to have it on Zoom as well that people can see. Well, we're going to have different persons. We're going to have persons like Desmond Jadu. I think you know Desmond Jadu. He's in Birmingham,
Yes.
there, Gary. We're going to have Councillor Dan McKenzie. She's going to be hosting it. There's this lady here. What's her name again? She is Zoe Dejan. I'm not sure if you know Zoe Dejan. She's going to be talking. Matunda McCullough, he was an acting public defender in Jamaica. The barrister is going to be there. There's going to be Donna Scott Motley. She's going to come online. She's on the commission um, team, and she's also a PNP senator. And there's Rosalie Hamilton. She's Professor Rosalie Hamilton, a very eloquent lady that she speaks and the work that they're doing with Advocacy Network. And the last discussion we had was the one which was in Nottingham. That was on July the 28th, and there was a Sergio Boswell, who is a young person on the team. Donna Scott didn't make it. Um, Dr. Kevin Brown, Matunda, and Professor Cyril she didn't make it as well. And there was a Clive Foster from the Windrush campaigner. There was a good turnout there at that event, and some of the, and you can see some of the. I don't know if I had some of the pictures there. Yeah, there's some couple pictures there. Oh, there you are. Couple pictures of persons there at this event. You know, asking questions. And if you look, Gary, you can see they're elderly folks, at the same time. And when you see elderly folks, which are actually coming through, you ask the question, where are the younger folks? You know, where are the young? Where are the youths? And that is so much important because what is going to be happening is creating a Jamaica, what we want to see. And I know you said nothing's going to change, but it's going to be an opportunity for those who weren't around when they were shaping the Constitution, 1962 or so, which was maybe in the backside of some room, some dusty room in Westminster, in the city of London, in Parliament. But now there's an opportunity for the Constitution to be reformed because, Gary, there's a recent big hoo-ha going on in Jamaica about the Director of Public Prosecution, Paula Llewellyn, and in the Constitution that says for her to be extended to get 5 years or for it to continue. But I'm not dealing with that. I'm going to talk about one thing. When you go through the Constitution, you keep seeing he. And that's the first thing that needs to be changed because everything is he. Because they weren't expecting women to be in this position. And it's all about he, when he. And I believe those are certain things that need to make it very um, reform those sort of bits there regarding the Constitution. So, I
Well,
yeah, go on. Yeah.
I mean, what is the time frame? What time frame have they put together for for Jamaica to become a republic? Is it 5 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 15 years from now? Is there a time frame that they've put together?
Yeah, well, actually, Gary, I think the minister was talking about a time frame for getting the views and getting the formula and get it put to the government for them to start to formulate a referendum, like what type of president that Jamaica want. Is it going to be an executive or is it going to be a ceremonial? And I think the minister, Malahou Fort, have said one day that she hoped that this sort of discussion will continue beyond into the next election. That is, if it's going to be a golden government at the next election or a wholeness government, because she said after having all these level of discussions, she has found out that this is not just an easy road. It's a lot of discussions, and I believe that they need to take it through the whole country of Jamaica and get the students and children to understand it. It's a crucial moment that the people, as the lady said, Miss Rosalie Hamilton, a Fiwi Republic, a Fiwi Jamaica. So it cannot be centralized into the hands of 60 individuals or these so-called politicians who are deemed to be the elites. It must be concentrated into the people hand. That's my view, and I'm a stickler on that. We have to be, as a member of the diaspora, not as somebody say, a member of the diaspora. We must be seeing ourselves as true Jamaicans, active Jamaicans, wherever we are. Because sometimes when somebody say you're a diasporan, you just like you're on the backside of some desert. We need to step up and say, no way, Jose. I'm not just a diaspora. I'm a Jamaica straight out of Oche. Boom.
Listen, I
Yeah.
think, and I've heard you. If
Mm,
they really want to get the diaspora's support,
mm,
and if they want to see the youth, the young people, young man, young woman, the entrepreneurs from the United States, from the UK, from Europe, because Jamaicans are all over this world. I
yeah.
believe that the Jamaica needs to change. The attitude of
Mm,
Jamaicans need to change. The outlook of Jamaica needs to change
yes.
because the youth, they're not going back to Jamaica
Yeah.
with this in the state that Jamaica is in now. And when I say that, it's in the state of all of this violence that's going on down there,
Yeah.
and the misappropriation of funds, even the very have they dealt with
No. I
um
mean, no. I know we call it SSL. Boat money.
yeah,
We don't know.
yeah, money, have they dealt with
No.
that? So
No.
how are they going to then appeal to the youth? How are they going to appeal
Mm,
to our children or to the yous and me's?
mm,
It's not going to happen. It's not going
yeah.
to happen. You will continue to see the pensioners, the old people, and I don't say that derogatory either. Respectfully, that's who you're going to see at these meetings,
Yes.
because these people, they're not serious, and this is a
Yeah.
serious thing. If they want to see the likes of you, me, our children invest, go in Jamaica, to go
Yes.
back to Jamaica, to see
Yes.
Jamaica prosper, then they need to look at the attitudes of the people there. They
Yes.
need to look at the security of the people, and the police needs to do their job
Mm,
and stop either doing what they're doing, roughing up the people, or I mean, I know police all over the world, they seem to have a bad name, but there's some rogues that need to be dealt with.
mm,
The violence, the gun violence,
yes.
the scamming, and all of these things that is
Coming on the
out of,
choppings. Yeah. Mm,
yeah, out of control down there. There needs to be some law and order going on down there. And these
yeah.
politicians also, not all of them, but there are some politicians, as you said, go on as if Jamaica belonged to them,
Yeah.
and that is not so. It belongs it belongs also to those who live outside of Jamaica, and some of us wants to go back. We want to go
Yeah.
back. We want to build our homes, or we want to buy property.
And that's one.
People
And that's one. And that's one of the reasons why I am very adamant in having these level of discussions, because it says that if push come to shove and we've got to go home, then we have to somehow play an active partake in Jamaica as how it's happening as well. You know.
I mean,
So
it's not just yesterday. I mean, Sylbourne, it's not just yesterday that violence happened. It's not just yesterday where people go home and have to come back here because of what happened, or go back to the States because of what is happening. It's happened time and time again, year in, year out.
yes,
5, 10, 15 years, these
yes,
things happen, and nothing seems to change. The
yes,
diaspora, they have their meetings in Jamaica, several in Kingston, in Montego Bay, wherever else they have it, and they identify these areas of concern. But yet it seems that nothing, Sylbourne, changes. Nothing at all changes. How serious are they? Really, how serious are these people?
yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, Garry, for that very interesting expose. And we always end up back on Jamaica, wanting to see a better Jamaica and wanting to have these high level of discussions, which is so important. And I strongly believe that with more partakers and more discussions, I believe that persons in the diaspora will somehow try to influence their family back home as to some of the thinking, because it's unfortunate, but it's a reality. As I was speaking with somebody, the majority of persons not thinking about this. They just want an easy life. They don't want no crime. They want to be able to buy their food, and they want to go to their bed and take their children to school, and so like that, you know. And those who have the time and the know-how, and the politicians, they will take advantage as well. And that's why I believe that for a country like Jamaica, there should not be more than 2 terms for a government. Now, that is not something for the constitution. For the constitution should be 2 terms, term limit for a prime minister, a particular person. But for a party, I don't think you should put a time limit on that. But I believe that the people should realize that absolute power corrupts, and power corrupts, and power corrupts absolutely. That's a term as well. And therefore, they need to vote out people and get people in, or vote out people. And just like with the DPP in Jamaica, I believe that it's very important for there to be succession plan and passing the baton, which is something very crucial. All right, Garry, have a good week.
Yes, thanks so much, man, and I wish all your listeners a good week, good weekend, and we'll be back next week Thursday.
And also Saturday night, ladies and gentlemen, on Talk and Sip. We'll have lots of discussion, and it centers a lot around Jamaica as well. And remember to try to tell people in Birmingham about the discussion forum as to Jamaica becoming a republic as well. And remember to like and subscribe on Instagram, like and subscribe Sylbourne TV, on TikTok, Super Sylb, and remember to share the video as well. And all the best, and see you around some other time. Good.